Hey guys, today is such a beautiful day, and I'm sitting at a park right now on a swing, and I was just talking to God about transitions and how we're going to move on to new stages of our lives, new seasons. And if you're graduating high school, you're moving on to university. And if you're graduating elementary school, you're moving on to high school. And if you're graduating university, you're moving on into the real world. And I was talking to God about how it's such a big leap and it's such a big change, and how things begin to expand and things begin to grow, and how exciting that is to me. Like, for me, a lot of people are afraid of changes like graduating high school and going to university, or graduating university and stepping into the real world. But for me, those changes are just so beautiful, and I have outgrown, my environment in high school long ago. Like, I feel like the minute I stepped into high school, I outgrew it. And it's definitely difficult having to kind of stay in an environment that you've outgrown. And in the last episode, I talked about how I do this thing. I think it's like a psychological term called bird down syndrome or something like that. It's where you have a tendency to always try to fix people. So the type of people you attract are usually very broken people who can only complain about their situation but never want to change it. And I was talking to God about that, and I was thinking, there is no use in trying to change people. Like, I remember I was talking to someone, and this person always complains about stuff, always complains about, I don't like this, and I don't know what to do about this, and I'm overwhelmed, and I'm stressed. And I think about all the people, all the friends that I've attracted in my life, which I don't have a single one today, but I think about all the friends that I've attracted in my life, and how every single person had one thing in common. They complained about situations, and they complained, and they complained, and they complained, and I gave them 1,000,001 solutions, and they just never wanted to change. They were addicted to complaining. They loved being broken. They loved flaunting that brokenness, but they never wanted to be gracefully broken. They never wanted to have a solution. And so I was praying to God about the type of people that I want to attract, and the type of friends that I want in my life. And I was telling him, I want gracefully broken people. I'm gracefully broken. I'm broken, but I'm under grace. And therefore, that brokenness isn't my identity. That brokenness isn't something I flaunt around, but the grace that I've been given because Jesus died on my behalf is what I flaunt around, is how I walk in life. And that's the type of people I want in my life. And especially now that, like, in 7 months, I'm going to be in university, I just think about how big of a selection of people there are, and how I can't try to fix everybody that I bump into. And I don't know, my prayer for this season is that I become self-centered in a non-selfish way, if that makes sense. Like, I want to be so focused on my relationship with God. I want to be so focused on what God is calling me to do. I want to be so focused on reaching that best version of myself that I don't have time to try to show people the things that they don't see in themselves. And that doesn't mean that I'm not going to try to help people, or I'm not going to try to give people good advice. That just means I'm not going to give my 2 cents where it's not asked for or needed, because I realized that a lot of the times when people told me about their problems, they just wanted to complain, or they just wanted somebody to vent to. They never actually wanted solutions, but I always gave them solutions, and they were addicted to my neediness to want to fix. And so that's why they constantly keep coming back to me when they face a problem, because they can tell that I'm addicted to wanting to fix things. And so I want to be in the season, in the place where people can tell me about stuff, and I'm like, okay, well, that's cool. What are you going to do about it? And they say, well, I don't know. I'm going to be like, well, I don't know what to tell you, because unless you actually want to start changing, I can't give you advice, and I don't know everything about your life. And so I just suggest that you do what you think is best for you. And that's sometimes what we really have to go and tell people. Like, not every time that somebody asks you for your advice, you just start giving random advice. You need to actually make sure, because somebody might actually take your advice. So you want to actually make sure that the advice that you're giving is advice that you would take yourself. And stop asking for advice on things from people who've never done them before. Stop asking, I have this business idea, what do you think? And then that person discourages you, and then you're mad about it. But the truth is, you shouldn't even be asking for advice from somebody who's never done something like that before. You should not even be asking for advice for somebody who can barely advise themselves. Like, we have to be very careful with the advice that we ask for people and the speech that we put over our lives. Okay, because not everybody's giving you advice with good intent, and sometimes people don't even realize it, but it's a spirit within them that is causing you to stumble. And so I just wanted to make this audio to remind you that you don't have to try to fix everything. You don't have to try to fix everyone. You're going to be moving on to different stages of your life constantly. Maybe that's in 2 years, maybe that's in 5 years, maybe that's in 2 months, but you're going to be constantly moving up in different stages of your life, and you can't keep carrying that version of yourself or that habit that you had in your last season into your new one, because you're just going to continue to set yourself back. Like, if I have the habits that I have right now in university, I'm not going to survive 2 months there. I'm going to try to fix everybody's life. I'm going to try to tell everybody what to do with their lives. I'm going to be so engulfed in everybody else's business and struggle that I'm going to completely forget about mine and watch mine fall away. And I'm just in that season right now, and I was actually watching a Bible sermon about this, but I'm actually in that season right now where I am just irritated by people. Like, you're breathing too loud, you're chewing too loud, you're talking too much. Like, I am just so irritated by people, and that's because, and that spirit of irritation is on me because I have been so engulfed and I have been so focus on other people's lives and what other people are doing that it's almost like I've made their life mine. And so when they start doing things that I wouldn't do, or when they stop taking my advice or whatever, I begin to get irritated, and I begin to get irritated with everything about that person. And that's because I'm so engulfed in what this person is doing that anything that they're doing that I wouldn't do or that I don't want them to do becomes irritation to me. And so you need to be so careful to protect your peace. If somebody's bothering you, you don't always have to be rude to somebody or give a rude response. Sometimes you just don't need to respond at all. Sometimes you have to say 2-letter words like cool, good for you, whatever you choose to do, and brush it off in order to protect your peace. So thank you for listening, but the primary message of this is you do not have to change anyone. And if you continue to step into different seasons of your life trying to change people, you are going to lose yourself. You are not the fixer, Jesus is. And so if Jesus wants to help them or fix them or save them, he will do so. The only thing that you can do is ask God for wisdom and guidance.